If you have to pick up the phone and call someone the second you feel triggered, if you find yourself paralyzed, unable to post a single photo to Instagram without running it by 3 different friends first, or if your entire mood for the day is held hostage by a single left-on scene or a blunt text message, then you are living in a state of self-betrayal. You are essentially handing the remote control of your emotions to people who might not even have your best interests at heart. Seeking validation is the fastest way to lose yourself. When you do this, you aren't just asking for an opinion. You are signaling to your brain that you don't trust your own judgment. You are telling your subconscious that external noise is more reliable than your internal signal. Over time, this behavior erodes your identity. You find it impossible to love yourself because you've never actually met yourself. You only know the version of you that other people approve of. You've never built that safe, supportive, and validating home within. Today, we are changing that. We are going to dismantle the need for approval and learn how to maximize your independence so you can finally become your own best friend. But to solve a problem this deep, we first have to find the root. Seeking validation isn't a one-size-fits-all issue. It's a symptom of a shaky foundation. Usually, it manifests in one of 5 distinct validation traps. First, there is romantic and male validation. This is perhaps the most addictive form. It's that desperate need to feel desirable, the high you get from a compliment or a notification from a guy you like. You use his attention as a measure of your beauty and worth. If he's interested, you're a queen. If he goes cold, you feel invisible. Second is social media validation. This is the digital hamster wheel. You're hooked on the dopamine hits of likes, followers, and comments. You start curating your life for the grid rather than actually living it. If a post doesn't perform well, you feel like you didn't perform well as a human being. Third is community and social validation. This is the popularity trap. It's that nagging need to be accepted by the cool kids or to fit into a specific inner circle. You find yourself laughing at jokes that aren't funny and agreeing with opinions you don't hold, just so you aren't the odd one out. Fourth is familial validation. This is often the hardest to break. It's when you bend over backwards to make your parents or siblings proud, even when their vision for your life contradicts your own. You allow them to overstep your boundaries because you fear that losing their approval means losing their love. And finally, there is academic and success validation. This is where you attach your entire value to your productivity. Your grades, your job title, your salary, or your latest achievement become the only things that make you feel worthy. If you aren't winning, you feel like a failure. The reason none of these traps work long-term is simple. You are placing your self-esteem in hands that aren't yours. It is a never-ending cycle because you are chasing a moving target. The likes will fluctuate, the guy might leave, and the cool kids will find someone new to talk about. This cycle stems from a weak self-perception, and the only way to break it is to close the gap between your public self and your private self. Think about it. Many of us build a persona for the world. We carefully curate this version of ourselves to be digestible. We water down our personalities. We stay quiet to avoid being too much, and we hide our controversial opinions because we're terrified of disagreement. But every time you do this, you are lying to yourself. You are telling your soul that the real you isn't good enough to be seen. If this is you, I want to reassure you, it is not your fault. This behavior is almost always a survival mechanism. Maybe you received little to no validation as a child. Maybe you grew up in an environment where your emotions were dismissed or you were only rewarded when you were perfect. You learned that to be loved, you had to perform. Validation is a fundamental form of human acceptance, And if it was held back from you, of course you develop these habits. But while it isn't your fault, it is 100% your responsibility to fix it now. You are worthy of being validated by yourself, and you must hold that internal opinion to such a high standard that the whispers of the world no longer hold weight. This is especially critical when we talk about male validation. For many women, this is the deepest wound. It's a path that never ends because you're trying to fill an internal void with external attention. A text or a date is a quick hit of dopamine, but it's empty calories. It never actually nourishes your self-esteem. To break this, you need a radical shift. First, you have to flip the pedestal. Stop looking at men as the judges of your beauty and start looking at yourself as the prize. You need to audit your attachment style. Are you anxious, constantly fearing abandonment, or are you avoidant, running away before you can get hurt? Once you identify your wiring, you can start working toward a secure attachment. The most powerful tool for this is the male detox. I'm talking about 3, 6, or even 12 months of complete intentional solitude. No dating apps, no talking stages, no situationships, and no flirting just for the sake of it. You use this time to build your dream life. You find new hobbies, you strengthen your female friendships, and you learn to love your own company. It takes about 30 days to break a habit. And once you cross that threshold, your energy shifts. You stop chasing and start existing in a state of high vibrational independence. Your aura becomes magnetic because you no longer need anyone to tell you who you are. When you stop chasing romantic validation, you naturally stop people-pleasing in other areas of your life, too. People-pleasing is essentially an addiction to peace at any price, but the price is usually your soul. It signals to your brain that your authentic self is a problem that needs to be managed. The cure for this is falling in love with your solitude. When you truly enjoy being alone, your standards for who you allow into your space skyrocket. You become incredibly picky with your time, your energy, and your emotions. You stop being a leech for approval because your tank is already full. You start setting boundaries without the crushing fear of disappointing others. Remember, the right people won't be disappointed when you stand up for yourself. They will actually respect you more for it. And let's be honest, we need to stop giving a fuck what people think. We are living on a giant floating rock in the middle of an infinite universe. People might judge you, they might talk behind your back, or they might laugh at your choices. But so what? The reality is that they will forget about you in 5 minutes. Every person you encounter is the main character of their own internal drama. They are far too worried about their own bills, their own insecurities, and their own bad hair days to spend more than a fleeting second thinking about you. Even if they do judge you, it's almost always a projection of their own internal limitations. If they're going to forget your embarrassing moment by tomorrow morning, why are you still carrying it like a heavy backpack? Let it go. In the world of psychology, this is all about your self-schema. This is the mental blueprint or the operating system you use to define who you are. Most people seeking validation have a glitchy self-schema filled with negative beliefs. To fix this, you have to consciously rebuild it. Start by identifying your favorite parts of yourself, not just how you look, but how you think, how you care, and what you've overcome. Then, take those negative self-beliefs and treat them like a challenge. If your brain tells you, "I'm not smart enough," go out and learn something complex just to prove it wrong. If you feel unattractive, stop hiding. Experiment with your style, learn your angles, and take up space. Most importantly, stop viewing yourself through the lens of who you were at 15. You are not that awkward, nerdy, or insecure teenager anymore. You have grown. You have newfound wisdom, resilience, and beauty. Wake up every single morning as if it is the first day of your life. Don't bring yesterday's mistakes or 10-year-old rejections into your present moment. Act as the version of yourself that you want to become, and eventually, the old version will simply shed away like dead skin. Ultimately, you are the only person in this entire universe who knows your full journey. You are the only one who has seen the battles you've fought in private and the thoughts you've wrestled with at 3 a.m. Because no one else has all the facts. No one else is qualified to validate you. When someone tells you you're overreacting or that it's not that big of a deal, they are judging you based on their life experiences, their trauma, and their mindset. It has nothing to do with the reality of your feelings. If it hurts, it hurts. Your pain is valid simply because you are feeling it. You do not need a jury to deliberate on whether or not you're allowed to be upset. So, here is your homework. The next time you feel that familiar itch to seek validation, the next time you're triggered or angry or feeling low, don't call anyone. Put the phone down. Instead, I want you to record a video of yourself. Hit record and just talk. Be raw, be messy, and be completely unfiltered. Say everything you're afraid to say to another person. Once you've gotten it all out, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what do I wish a best friend or a loving parent would say to me right now? Whatever that sentence is, I want you to say it back to yourself. Say, I see you. It makes total sense why you're feeling this way. You aren't a bad person for being hurt, and we are going to get through this together. This act of self-witnessing is the key to everything. Compassion for yourself is the only thing that can truly break the chains of external approval. Stop placing your worth in hands that don't know your heart. You are the author of your own story, and it's time you started trusting the hand that holds the pen. Validation starts and ends with you. It is a quiet, internal yes to your own existence. If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting the life you actually deserve, hit that subscribe button and join this community. Leave a comment below and tell me one specific thing you are going to stop seeking approval for, starting today.